Okay, good day to all students. Sa video lesson na ito, ang itatackle naman natin is yung detailed information about the periodic table of elements. So dito pag-aaralan natin yung iba't ibang aspects, iba't ibang properties of the different elements involved in the arrangement of the periodic table of elements. But before that, we have to discuss first the short history of the development of the periodic table of elements. The periodic table of elements is a common sight in classrooms, campus hallways, and libraries. But it is more than a tabular organization of pure substances. Scientists can use the table to analyze reactivity among elements, predict chemical reactions, understand trends and periodic properties among different elements, and speculate on the properties of those yet to be discovered. The modern periodic table arranges the elements by their atomic numbers and periodic properties. So, ang pagkaka-arrange pala po ng periodic table of elements is based on atomic number and periodic properties. Several scientists work over almost a century to assemble the elements into this format. So, among the scientists who work to create a table of the elements, from left, we have Antoine Lavoisier, Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner, Johann Newlands, and Henry Moseley, and some other scientists that we are going to discuss in this video. In 1789, French chemist Antoine Lavoisier tried grouping the elements as metals and non-metals. So siya pala po yung unang nag-attempt na i-arrange ang period elements based on metals and non-metals. 45 years later, German physicist Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner observed similarities in physical and chemical properties of certain elements. He arranged them in groups of 3 in number of atomic weight and called them triads. Observing that some properties of the middle element such as atomic weight and density approximated the average value of these properties in the other 2 in each triad. A breakthrough came with the publication of a revised list of elements and their atomic masses at the first International Conference of Chemistry in Germany in 1860. They concluded that hydrogen would be assigned the atomic weight of 1 and the atomic weight of other elements would be decided by comparison with hydrogen. For example, carbon being 12 times heavier than hydrogen would have an atomic weight of 12. British chemist Johann Newlands was the first to arrange the elements into a periodic table with increasing order of atomic masses. So dito naman po ang kay John Newland, inarrange niya based on atomic mass. He found that every 8 elements had similar properties and called this the law of octaves. He arranged the elements in 8 groups but left no gaps for an undiscovered element. So yun naman po ang pagkaka-arrange niya, walang palta or walang gap doon sa mga elements na hindi pa na-discover, na kung sakali may dumating, saan po yun ilalagay. So yun yung arrangement ni John Newlands, using the law of octaves. In 1869, Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev created a framework that became the modern periodic table, leaving gaps for elements that were yet to be discovered. So while arranging the elements according to their atomic weight, he found that they did not fit into the group. He would rearrange them. Mendeleev predicted the properties of some undiscovered elements and gave them names such as Eka-aluminium for an element with properties similar to aluminum. Later, Eka-aluminum was discovered as gallium. Some discrepancies remained. The position of certain elements such as iodine and tellurium could not be explained. German chemist Lothar Meyer produced a version of the periodic table similar to Mendeleev's in 1870. He left gaps for undiscovered elements but never predicted their properties. So the Royal Society of London awarded the Davy Medal in 1882 to both Mendeleev and Meyer. The later discovery of elements predicted by Mendeleev, including gallium in 1875, scandium in 1879, and germanium in 1886, verified his predictions, in his periodic table won universal recognition. In 1955, the 101st element was named Mendeleevium in his honor. So the concept of subatomic particles did not exist in the 19th century. In 1913, English physicist Henry Moseley used X-ray to measure the wavelengths of elements and correlated these measurements to their atomic numbers. He then rearranged the elements in the periodic table on the basis of atomic numbers. So this helped explain disparities in earlier version that had used atomic masses. So ito na rin po yung kasalukuyang ginagamit natin, that the periodic table of element is arranged based on the atomic number. So in the periodic table, the horizontal rows are called periods. Yung from left to right, ang tawag is period, with metals in the extreme left and non-metals on the right. The vertical columns, called groups, consist of elements with similar chemical properties. The periodic table provides information about the atomic structure of the elements and the chemical similarities or dissimilarities between them. Scientists use the table to study chemicals and design experiments. It is used to develop chemicals used in the pharmaceutical and cosmetics industries and batteries used in technological devices. UNESCO named 2019 the International Year of the Periodic Table to mark the 150th anniversary of Mendelev's publication. Our researchers and teachers worldwide took this opportunity to reflect on the importance of the periodic table and spread awareness about it in classrooms and beyond. Workshops and conferences encourage people to use the knowledge of the periodic table to solve problems in health, technology, agriculture, environment, and education. Publication houses organize monthly activities such as quiz, contests, podcasts, personal story sections, and industry site tours. These initiatives demonstrated how the elements are integral to our daily lives in medicines, pesticides, and lithium batteries. So ito na po, pag-aralan na natin itong arrangement ng periodic table of element. Kagaya ng binanggit kanina, column, itong pababa, we have group. Ang tawag po dyan is group. Kung titignan natin dito, we have group 1 to 18. Ayan, group 1, ito, helium. Nasa group 1 po is hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Ito naman nasa group 2, itong pababa rin na ito. We have beryllium, thorium. Group 3, scandium. Ito, hanggang dito. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, hanggang 18. So, we have 18 groups. Ang ibang tawag po dyan is family. 18 family or 18 groups in the periodic table. At ito naman pong line na to, itong papunta dito, from hydrogen to helium, magkasama naman sila sa isang period. Ang period, we have 7 period. We have period 1 from hydrogen to helium. Period 2, we have lithium to neon. We have period 3 from sodium to argon. And period 4, we have potassium to krypton. So on hanggang dito po, hanggang number 7. So, to sum up, ilan po ang groups natin pagdating sa periodic table of elements? Okay, we have 18 groups. At sa period naman, ilang period meron tayo? Okay, we have 7 periods in the periodic table of elements. Okay, naka-arrange po yan based on properties. Kung mapapansin po natin, itong kulay niya, itong nandito kasama ng hydrogen, kasama itong nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Ang kulay po na yan dito sa legend is, sabi dyan is diatomic nonmetal. Pag sinabi po natin diatomic nonmetal, in nature, they cannot exist alone. So, kailangan po dyan, kapag hydrogen, naka-symbol is H2, meaning hydride. Dalawang atom po siya. Kapag N, dapat ang sulat po natin yan, hindi lang N. That should be N sub of 2. Ito naman pong lithium, sodium, potassium, ito, itong kulay na to, same colors. Alkali metals po sila. So, considered sila as metals. Ito naman medyo orange po, from beryllium to radium. We have alkaline earth metals. Itong mga blue is, ito is the transition metals. Ito, ang tawag naman po is lanthanide. So, yung mga light blue po, ito is scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Hanggang dito sa baba, na mga same colors, kasama sila sa tinatawag na transition metals. Yun, ito naman pong, ito nandito, na medyo lighter blue, noble gas. Noble gas. Kapag tinawag po siya na noble gas, ang ibang tawag dyan is inert gas. Itong nasa group 18, they are considered as stable or unreact. So, tinatawag na sila na stable. So, advanced information na po. Kapag tinatawag na stable gases or noble gases, sila yung may 8 na po na tinatawag na valence electron sa outermost shell nila. So, stable na sila. Except po dyan ang helium. Kasi ang helium is 2 electron lang naman ang capacity niya. So, hindi siya kasama dun sa, although kasama na siya dun sa noble gas, kasi nga, yun lang ang maximum niya na talaga na pwede sa outermost shell niya. Is only 2 electron. Itong neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, sila yung 8 ang valence electron, or yung pag sinabing valence electron po sa ano natin is ito yung pinakalabas na shell ng atom na kung saan nandun yung mga electrons na yun na tinatawag naman na valence electron. Nasa valence shell na tinatawag. So, a table of chemical element arranged by atomic numbers. Kaya kung babasahin po natin yan, ng sunod-sunod ang pagbabasa po natin yan, ganito, hydrogen, followed by helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, ganyan. Balik sa sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, back to potassium, calcium, scandium, titanium. Yun po ang arrangement niya ng pagbabasa. So, kung mapapansin po natin dito kanina, we have group 1 2, 3, 4, 5 hanggang 18. Pero dito nagkaroon na tayo ng group A at group B. So, itong nasa group B po, itong mga transition metals na tinutukoy natin kanina. So, mayroon na 1A, 2A. Susundan ng 2A dito po is tatalon tayo dito sa boron group is 3A, 4A, 5A, 7A, 8A, 6A, 7A, at ito po yung 0 or noble gas. 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, 7B, 8B, at ito yung 1B, 2B. Yan pong groups na yan na dinivide naman sa B at sa A group. Yan naman ang nag-identify naman kasi ng kung bakit sila nilagay as 1B, 2B. Ito ay 1A, 2A. Yung group na po ina yan na A at B, ito, kung 1A, ang pinakalabas po niya na valence electron ay 1. Ito naman 2A, ang pinaka-valence electron niya is 2. Dalawa ang electron niya na nasa labas. Ito naman 3A, ganun din. Itong sa B, ganun din po yan. For example, itong nasa 3B ito, at tatlong valence electron din ang outermost shell niya or yung kanyang tinatawag na valence electron. So, madadaanan pa po natin ulit yan mamaya. So, when we say atomic number, so dito po sa legend na to, ito yung itong sa taas na to, upper left corner of the box, yan yung atomic number. Ito naman pong H na to is the atomic symbol. At itong hydrogen word na to is the atomic name. So, the atomic number represent the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom. So, ang atomic number pala po, yun yung tinutukoy kung ilan ang proton sa nucleus ng atom. Pag sinabi pong proton, this is the positively charged particle na nasa loob ng atom. So, ibig sabihin, ang hydrogen pala po, isa. Kaya kung ang atomic number, for example, neon, 10 ang kanyang atomic number, ilan ang kanyang proton? Automatically, the proton is 10. Kung ilan yung kanyang atomic number. And in neutral atom po, for your information, kung ilan ang number ng proton, yun din ang number ng electron. So, yun po. Yun din ang mag-a-identify ng number of electron. So, which determines the chemical properties of an element and its place in the periodic table. In the periodic table of elements, the atomic number is located at the upper left of the element. In the middle is the letter symbol for the element. Example, H. Okay, pagsusulat pula po ng atomic symbol, is the first letter is capital letter. Yung naman pong kasunod, kung dalawa po, halimbawa ay iron, Fe, yung E is small letter. Yun po yung pagkakasulat ng chemical symbol ng ating mga elements. So, in the periodic table, there are families which are group or of elements with similar properties. Yung binanggit natin kanina. Yung group, itong pababa, we have 18 groups. Ang ibang tawag nga po is family. At ito naman po, we have 7 periods. May iba't ibang properties po yan. Ito nga nasa B group na to, yung tinatawag natin na are the transition metals. Ito nasa B group. This is the so-called the transition metals. A group is a column on the periodic table. Column. Elements have the same number of valence electron. Yun. Kaya pula po sila grinupo dyan, ay magkakapareha sila ng number of valence electron. Pag sinabi ulit natin na valence electron is the outermost, the electrons in the outermost shell of the element. Ayan. Ito po yung example ng valence electron na tinutukoy po natin. Ayan, kung titingnan po natin ito nasa labas na to ng shell, we have 2 shells. Ang ibang tawag po dyan sa shells na yan is the energy level. Ang ibang tawag po, pwede rin tawagin na shell or energy level. So, we have the first main energy level and then the second energy level. So, kung nasa labas po niya 3 electron, meaning nasa group 3 po siya. Nandito siya sa group nito. Yan, ito po yung mga nasa labas ng shell. Ang tawag po dyan is valence electron. So, tinanong itong sa magnesium. Yun, 1, 2. Dalawa rin. 1 and 2 ang kanyang valence electron. Balikan po natin sa arrangement. Magnesium, beryllium. Magkasama po sila sa isang group. Kaya pareha silang dalawa ang valence electron. Ayan, ito rin po. Calcium. Tingnan po natin. Dalawa ang kanyang valence electron. Yung nasa pinakalabas na shell. Ang shell po niya, kung titignan natin, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shells. At yung nasa labas na shell, ang tawag niyan is valence shell. At yung electron na nandyan is valence electron. Kung titignan natin, dalawa. Meaning, nasa group 2. Okay, valence electron. In general, the numbers of valence electrons of a representative element is equal to the group number. Binanggit na natin. Ganitong nasa group 1A, itong lithium, 1A. Beryllium, 2A. Meaning, dalawa yung dots niya. Yan yung nagre-represent na valence electron. Itong 3A, 3, 4A, 4, 5A, 5, 6A, 6, 7A, 7. At yung nasa 4A, yung tinatawag natin na noble gas, 8 na. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kaya po siya tinawag na stable. Tandaan po natin, para maging stable ang isang element, kailangan niya ng 8 na valence electron sa labas ng kanyang shell. So itong nasa group 8A, meaning sila ay mga stable or nasa tinatawag na noble gases. Kaya alam na natin kung bakit itong hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, lahat sila ay nasa 1A kasi nga sila ay tig-ilan pong valence electron, tig-iisa. Ito nasa 17 na to, kung tatangin din natin, hindi talaga siya 17 siya sa pangkalahatan, ano po. Pero kung yung sa A group, magiging siyang 3, 4, 5, 6, 7A. Meaning itong fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine, ito ay mga ilan ang kanilang valence electron. Kung sila ay nasa 7A, meaning 7 ang kanilang valence electron. Dito naman po tayo sa, tingnan natin itong period. Ito yung group 1, hydrogen, lithium, sodium. Tingnan ninyo ang ilan ang kanyang valence electron. Ito, hydrogen, isa lang naman talaga ang electron niya, 1. Itong lithium, 1. Itong sodium, 1. Kasi number 11 baga po ang sodium kung bibilangin natin yung kanyang electron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Kasi nga 11 ang kanyang atomic number, sabi natin kanina, the atomic number is the number of proton. And in neutral atom, the number of proton is always equivalent to the number of electron. Ito naman nasa group 14, tignan natin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Meaning nasa 4A po ito. 4A, 4 ang kanyang valence electron. Tingnan natin itong silicon. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The same. Nasa group 17, ito yung 7A. So kung 7A yan, 7 ang kanyang valence electron. Tingnan natin itong fluorine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tama. Itong chlorine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 din. So we have metals, non-metals, and metalloid. Ito nakadilaw. Ito yung mga metalloids. Can be either converted. Ito yung mga ginagamit po sa mga electronic devices. Ito mga metalloids. Can be converted between metals and non-metals ang properties po kasi nila. Can be convertible to metals and also to non-metals. Ito namang mga nasa blue is non-metals. Itong mga pula, metals. Ito yung diniscuss natin kanina, iba't ibang uring metals. We have the alkaline earth metals, the transition metals. Ang group B, yung binanggit natin kanina, ito yung transition metals, yung nasa B group elements from 3B, 1B to, ito dito pa nagsimula ang 1B, 2B, kasi itong group naman itong 1B, ito yung 1 valence electron, 2 valence electron, 3 valence electron, ganun. So ito naman yung mga iba pang properties and trends sa periodic table of element na dapat nating matutunan. We have, ayan, kung titingnan natin ito, electronegativity, kapag left to right, increases. Ang radius naman po niya, kapag right to left, increases, meaning kapag left to right, papaliit po siya. Pag pababa naman, atomic radius increases. Pag pataas naman, electronegativity increases, ionization energy increases, electron affinity increases, metallic character increases kapag right to left to right, non-metallic processes. So isa-isahin po natin yung mga yan. Unahin natin itong atomic radius. Sabi kanina, kapag kanan papunta sa kaliwa, increasing, meaning itong hydrogen sa helium, alin ang mas malaki ang radius? Correct, mas malaki po ang hydrogen. Dito naman sa lithium, sa period 2, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, alin ang mas malaki ang radius sa dalawa, oxygen or boron? Correct, mas malaki po ang sa boron. Pero kung titignan po natin, ano ba yung radius na yan? Ang atomic radius po, ito yung nag-identify ng number of shell. Yung laki. Meaning, mas marami ang shell, mas marami yung energy level, mas malaki ang radius. Kaya itong pababa, natural, kitang-kita na natin itong group 1, tingnan po ninyo. Itong hydrogen nasa period 1, meaning isa lang ang shell. Yung nasa period 2, dalawa ang shell, dalawa ang orbit. Ang period 3 naman, 3 ang orbit. Kung titignan natin from up, going down, papalaki siya. So, increasing radius. Kaya lang, ito ang nakakapagtaka. Group 1, saka group 18 na to, hydrogen and helium, pareha silang nasa period 1. Ilan ang kanilang orbit or tinatawag natin na shell? Pareha silang 1. Pero bakit mas malaki ang hydrogen kumpara sa helium? So, ang paliwanag po dyan is the attraction. Kasi dito sa helium, dalawa yung nag-a-attract. Halimbawa, dito, dalawang proton, dalawang electron sa labas, dalawang naghihilahan na force. Meaning, the tendency of these two electrons is going towards the nucleus. Unlike with only one electron and one proton attracting with each other, mas mahina yung attractive force. So, mas malayo yung distance nitong proton and electron ng hydrogen kumpara sa protons, dalawang protons ng helium sa kanang dalawang electron niya. Mas malakas yung attractive force kasi nga dalawa na. So, multiply by 2, meaning talagang liliit ang radius nitong helium. Kaya, kung titingnan natin dito sa legend, mula sa kanan, mula dito sa helium, papunta sa hydrogen, papalaki ang radius. Kaya, kung titingnan din natin itong period 3, we have the sodium, we have the silicon. Ito yung kunin natin yung mga sample, we have the chlorine, and then argon. Kung titingnan natin, si sodium, may isa lang na valence electron. So, medyo mahina yung attractive force. Ano po? Ito namang sa silicon, 2, 3, 4. Yung nasa pinakalabas. Si chlorine, ilan na po yun? 2, 4, 6, 7. Si argon, 8. Meaning, kung titingnan natin, ang pinakamalakas ang attractive force going towards, going inward, papasok sa nucleus, ang malakas itong nandito sa group 18. Ito, papahina. Kaya, mas malaki talaga ang radius nitong nasa group 1. With the same period, ang pinag-uusapan po natin kung sila ay nasa the same period. Kasi ulitin po natin, yung period is the number of orbit or the number of shell, the number of main energy level na mayroon ng isang element. Kagaya nitong ito, nasa group 7 na to, itong francium, radium na to, punta dito, lahat sila ay tig-pipitong shells. So, meaning marami na po ang kanilang electrons. Ayan, sana malinaw sa atin yung sa radius. Ayan, ito yung sample. Oh. Kapag left to right, decreases. Kaya itong mga nasa kaliwa, mas malalaki ang radius nila kumpara dun sa mga nasa kanan. At yung mga nasa baba naman, automatic na yun kasi papadagdag ang shell, wala nang pagtatalo po dun. Kasi increasing na ang number of shell, meaning increasing ang radius nitong pababa. Ayan, sabi po dito, I'm smaller in size, hence valence electrons are more attracted. I'm bigger in size, hence valence electrons are less. Kasi nga ito, mas marami na ang ano po nito. Siyempre, mas malayo siya, less attraction. Ito naman, mas malapit dun sa proton, mas malakas ang attraction. Magkasama sila sa isang group. Pero kita naman natin, sa number of shells pa lang, 3 shells na to, ito 2 lang. So, meaning, mas malaki talaga itong magnesium. Okay, sunod naman po natin, electronegativity. Increasing. Kapag left to right, increasing electronegativity. Kapag mula sa baba pataas, increasing electronegativity. Ano po ba yung electronegativity? Ayan, electronegativity is a chemical property that describes the tendency of an atom or a functional group to attract electrons toward itself. Ito po yung kakayanan ng isang atom na makapag-attract ng electron or mag-invite ng electron. Bakit kaya ito from left to right increasing? Meaning yung mga nandito pala, ang tendency nila ay hindi makapag-attract. Ano po? So, ito yung paliwanag po dyan. Itong 7A, sabi natin kanina, para maging stable po ang isang element, isang atom, dapat 8 ang kanyang outermost electron. So, itong fluorine, saka chlorine, 7. Kung titignan natin, 7, meaning kulang na lang ng isa. Kung pagsasamahin po natin ito si fluorine, saka si lithium, sabi natin ito si sodium saka si chlorine. Si chlorine nangangailangan na lang ng isa para maging stable. Si sodium nangangailangan ng 7 para maging 8. Sa tingin po ninyo, sino ang mas madaling makapaghigop ng electron na kailangan nila? Si isa na mag-a-attract siya ng 7 o itong may 7 na isa na lang kailangan? Ayan, syempre itong 7 na ang malakas. Kasi ano na po siya, isa na lang, okay na. Kumbaga sa biyahe, isa na lang, solve na siya. So, kaya mas malakas ang electronegativity ng mga non-metals. Ano po, itong mga papunta sa non-metals. Unlike nitong mga nasa metals group, nasa group 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. Itong nasa 5A, 6A, 7A, yan yung malalakas po ang kaniyang electronegativity. Kasi ang sabi nga, electronegativity is a chemical property that describes the tendency of an atom or functional group to attract electrons toward itself. Ang electron affinity po, it has something to do also with the electronegativity. They are interrelated. So, as the electronegativity increases, the electron affinity increases. Kasi pag sinabi po natin electron affinity of an element is defined as the energy released when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom to form a gaseous anion or negative ion. So, kung titignan po natin kung bakit siya increases in electron affinity, katulad po ng electronegativity, ito na po yung energy na nire-release. So, an electron affinity is how readily a neutral atom gains an electron. Negativity, ability to attract electron. Ito namang electron affinity is how readily a neutral atom gains an electron. So, kung titignan po natin, from left to right, increases. From bottom to top, increases. Okay, ionization energy naman tayo. Kapag sinabi po natin ionization energy, yun, related naman din siya sa electronegativity. So, ionization energy also called ionization potential. In chemistry and physics, the amount of energy required to remove an electron from an isolated atom or molecule. So, pare-pares po sila halos ni electron affinity, electronegativity, and then ionization energy. Ibig sabihin po, kung babalikan natin kanina, itong fluorine, 7 ang nasa labas na siya, electron. Itong mga nandito, 1. So, kung titingnan po natin, para maging stable, halimbawa, kukuha ba si fluorine ng 1 na lang para maging 8 o papalayasin yung 7? Alin ang mas madali? Kumuha siya ng 1 electron o tanggalin niya yung 7 electron? Kaya kung tatanggalin natin ang 7 electron dito sa fluorine, mas mataas na energy ang kailangan. So, yun yung tinatawag natin na ionization energy. Ito yung energy na i-release para matanggal yung electron na nasa labas. Ano po? Yung outermost electron. So, kaya itong mga nasa 7A na to, 6A, ilang electron ang tatanggalin dito sa 6A? 6. So, it requires lot amount of energy to remove that 6 in comparison dun sa 2 na kailangan lang nila. Dun sa tinatawag natin na affinity. So, 2 na lang ang kailangan nila sa electronegativity. Unlike dito sa lithium, kahit ito tinawag ng mga metals, itong nasa 1B, 1A, 1 lang ang electron na nasa labas nila. Little amount of energy. Pwede nang mag-alis dun sa energy level na yun, yung isang ano. Kaya po yung mga metals baga natin, kaya siya good conductor of electricity, heat and electricity. Kasi nga, yung valence electron po nila is iisa lang. So, kunting amount lang ng heat, maitatransfer nyo na yung energy. Ano po, maililipat niya na yung energy. Unlike yung mga non-metals, kagaya ng yung ginagamit natin as insulator. So, bago po magdaloy dun ang kuryente, sunog na siya. Kasi nga, grabing energy na ang kailangan just to remove the valence electron in that kind of non-metal element. Ano po? Kaya yung mga non-metal, mataas ang ionization energy. Yung mga metals, ito yung mabababa ang ionization energy. Ito yung energy na kailangan para tanggalin yung electron na nasa outermost shell ng atom. So, sa metallic and non-metallic property naman tayo. So, related din po siya. So, yung matataas ang ionization energy, yun yung mga tataas ang non-metal. Yung mababa ang ionization energy, yun yung mataas ang metallic property. Ayan, tingnan po natin dito. Metallic versus non-metallic. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga nasa group 1, 2, hanggang 3A or 1 to 3B, yan yung mga metals. Matataas ang metallic property itong mga nandito. Itong mga nandito na sa 5A, 6A, 7A, yan na yung matataas naman ang non-metallic property. Kaya mga tinatawag yan na non-metal. Kaya kung tignan natin dito sa direction, most metal yung mga nandito. Yun. Bakit naman sa halimbawa itong 1A, mga metal sila from lithium to francium, cesium, mas mataas itong number 87 na to kumpara sa lithium. Kasi nga po, kagaya ng paliwanag natin kanina sa radius, mas malayo na siya sa attraction nung nasa gitna, yung nucleus na tinatawag natin. Yung nandun yung proton po, yung proton and then the neutron. Yung proton ang nag-a-attract po ng electron, malayo na siya kasi number 7 na to, na group, na period, 7 na ang shell niya, malayo na. So, mahina na yung attractive force, meaning, little amount of energy, pwede nang tanggalin yung valence electron. Pwede na siyang mag-transfer into another, yung tinatawag natin na excited state. Pwede na siyang, kunting amount lang ng energy, mapupunta na sa agad sa excited state, yung tinatawag natin na valence electron. Kaya mataas ang metallic property nitong nasa baba kumpara sa nasa taas. At itong nasa kaliwa naman, mataas ang metallic kumpara doon sa nasa kanan. Kasi nga, yung papunta sa kanan is going to non-metals. Metals tend to lose electron in chemical reaction as indicated by their low ionization energies. Within a compound, metal atoms have a relatively low attraction or electrons. This is indicated by their low electronegativities. So, kung papansin natin, yung lahat ng trends sa mga properties interrelated, ganun kagaling ang nag-arrange po nitong yung mga scientists na nag-arrange po nitong periodic table of elements, na scientists na nag-contribute sa arrangement nitong ating periodic table of elements kung saan ginagamit natin ngayon in the different areas of our industry like in medicine, pharmaceutical, cosmetics. So, kahit nga sa paggagawa ng toothpaste, ng shampoo, Sa electricals, kung bakit may metals tayo, bakit may insulator, may conductor, it's because of the properties of the different kinds of element.